When 16-year-old Maya Rodriguez placed a $5 bid on the scrawniest, most pathetic-looking horse at her high school's charity auction, the entire gymnasium erupted in laughter. Her classmates pointed and whispered. Teachers exchanged concerned glances. Even the auctioneer paused, clearly wondering if this was some kind of joke. But Maya wasn't joking. She was dead serious. And that $5 decision would soon reveal a secret so extraordinary that it would make national news and change her life forever. The horse standing in the auction ring that Saturday afternoon in October looked like it had been assembled from spare parts that didn't quite match. Its coat was a mottled mess of brown and white patches that seemed randomly splattered across its gaunt frame. One ear pointed straight up, while the other flopped to the side at an odd angle. Its mane stuck out in all directions like it had been styled by a tornado. But worst of all were its legs. Knobby, awkward, seemingly too long for its body, giving it the appearance of a newborn foal that had never quite grown into its proportions, even though the horse was clearly at least 3 or 4 years old. $5, Maya called out again, her voice steady despite the snickering around her. The auctioneer, Mr. Henderson, ran the local feed store and had volunteered to help with the school's annual fundraiser. He looked down at Maya with a mixture of pity and confusion. Young lady, are you sure? This horse needs a lot of work, a lot of feed, veterinary care, training. You're looking at thousands of dollars in expenses for an animal that, well, frankly, might never be worth much of anything. Maya's best friend, Sophie, grabbed her arm. Maya, what are you doing? Everyone's passing on that horse. Nobody thinks she's worth anything. Use that $5 to buy us pizza instead. But Maya couldn't explain it. Not in a way that would make sense to anyone else. There was something about this horse. Something in its eyes when it had looked directly at her moments ago. Despite its pathetic appearance, despite the way it stood, with its head lowered in what looked like defeat or exhaustion, there had been a flash of intelligence in those dark eyes. A spark of something that seemed to say, I'm more than what you see. Please, someone see me.
I'm sure, Maya said firmly. $5 is my bid.
Mr. Henderson sighed and looked around the gymnasium. Anyone else? Anyone want to bid on this fine animal? His tone made it clear he was being sarcastic about the fine animal part. Silence. Going once? Going twice. Sold to the young lady in the blue jacket for $5. The laughter intensified. Someone behind Maya muttered, She just threw away $5 on glue factory material. Another voice added, That thing probably can't even be ridden. Look at those legs. Maya felt her cheeks burn, but she walked forward to claim her purchase, pulling the crumpled $5 bill from her pocket, money she'd been saving from her weekend job at the local diner. As she handed it to Mr. Henderson, he leaned down and spoke quietly. Look, kid, I admire your compassion, but this horse has been through 4 different homes in the past 2 years. Nobody can do anything with her. She's not dangerous, just awkward, clumsy. Can't jump worth a damn, can't run straight, can't do much of anything except eat and take up space. The previous owner donated her to this auction just to get rid of her. You sure you want this responsibility? Before we continue with this incredible story, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We share amazing true stories like this one every single day, and we'd love to have you as part of our community. Also, please leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. It really makes our day to hear from viewers around the world. Now, back to Maya and the $5 horse that would shock everyone. Maya's parents were less than thrilled when she came home that evening and announced she'd bought a horse. They lived on a small property on the outskirts of town. Not quite a ranch, not quite suburban, just 5 acres of scrubland with a small barn that hadn't housed animals in years. Maya's father, Carlos, was a mechanic who worked long hours. Her mother, Eleanor, was a nurse at the county hospital. Money was always tight. You bought a what? Elena asked, looking up from the bills she'd been sorting at the kitchen table. A horse! At the school auction. She needs a home, and I got her for only $5. Maya tried to make it sound like a bargain. Carlos ran his hand through his graying hair. Mija, a $5 horse is $5 for a reason. What's wrong with it? Her, Maya corrected. And nothing's wrong with her. She just needs someone to give her a chance.
Elena exchanged a look with Carlos, one of those parental telepathy moments that communicated an entire conversation without words. Finally, Elena sighed. Show us this horse!
The horse had been temporarily housed at the school's small agriculture barn overnight. When Maya brought her parents the next morning, even she had to admit, the mare looked worse in the full light of day. Every rib was visible beneath the patchy coat. The awkward ear flopped even more noticeably, and when the horse tried to walk toward them, she moved with an odd, ungainly gait that made her look like she was constantly on the verge of tripping over her own feet. Oh, Maya, Eleanor whispered, her voice full of sympathy. Though whether for her daughter or the horse, Maya couldn't tell. But Carlos surprised them both. He walked up to the horse slowly, speaking softly in Spanish, and ran his hand down her neck. She's young, he said after a moment. Maybe 4 years old. Definitely malnourished. Needs her hooves trimmed badly. That's probably why she walks funny. Needs to see a vet. He looked at Maya. This is going to cost money we don't really have.
I'll pay for it, Maya said quickly. All of it, from my job.
You make $7 an hour washing dishes, Eleanor pointed out gently. That's not going to cover a veterinarian and feed and... I'll work more hours. I'll do whatever it takes. Please. I can't explain it, but I need to do this. I need to help her. Carlos studied his daughter's face for a long moment. He saw the determination there, the same stubbornness she'd inherited from him. Finally, he nodded. Okay, but this is your responsibility. You feed her, you clean up after her, you pay the bills, and if it becomes too much, we'll have to find her another home. Agreed? Agreed. Maya threw her arms around her father. They brought the horse home that afternoon, leading her slowly down the residential streets, much to the confusion of neighbors, to their property. Maya had already cleaned out the old barn and spread fresh straw. She'd filled water buckets and, with money borrowed from her mother that she'd promised to pay back, bought a bag of senior feed from the local supply store. As the horse, Maya decided to name her Bella, which meant beautiful in Spanish, despite the irony. Settled into her new home, Maya sat on the fence and watched her eat. Her phone buzzed with texts from classmates. Most were mocking. Enjoy your $5 trash horse. Did it die yet? Post pictures when it falls over LOL. But Sophie sent something different. You've got the biggest heart of anyone I know. Let me know if you need help. Over the next 2 weeks, Maya threw herself into caring for Bella with single-minded determination. She woke up at 5 every morning before school to feed and water the mare. She rushed home every afternoon to clean the stall and spend time grooming Bella's matted coat. She picked up extra shifts at the diner on weekends, saving every penny. The transformation started slowly. With proper nutrition and care, Bella began to gain weight. The dullness faded from her coat, revealing that the brown patches were actually a rich, deep bay color, and the white markings were clean and bright. The odd ear still flopped, and she still moved with that peculiar awkward gait, but there was a new brightness in her eyes. 3 weeks after the auction, Maya's father helped her load Bella into a borrowed horse trailer. They'd scraped together enough money for a basic veterinary checkup. Dr. Sarah Mitchell ran the only large animal practice in the county, operating out of a clinic on the edge of town. Dr. Mitchell was a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and capable hands that had seen everything in 30 years of practice. She did a thorough examination while Maya held Bella's lead rope, speaking soothingly to the mare. Well, Dr. Mitchell said after about 20 minutes, the good news is that most of her problems are fixable. She was severely malnourished, which you've already started addressing. Her hooves are a mess. She needs a good farrier to trim and balance them. That's probably why she moves funny. I can recommend someone. And the bad news? Maya asked nervously. No bad news, really. She's healthy overall, young, should have many good years ahead of her. Dr. Mitchell paused, running her hand down Bella's unusual face. Can I ask where you got her? Maya explained about the auction, the $5 bid, the 4 previous homes that had given up on the horse. Dr. Mitchell frowned thoughtfully. May I see her registration papers? Most horses at auctions, even charity ones, come with some kind of documentation. I don't think I got any papers, Maya admitted. Mr. Henderson just handed me a lead rope. Dr. Mitchell walked around Bella again, this time with more focus, examining her conformation from different angles. You see how her head is shaped? That slightly dished profile, the large eyes set wide apart, the small muzzle. And despite her awkward appearance right now, look at her bone structure underneath, the arch of her neck, the angle of her shoulder. Maya had no idea what any of that meant. Dr. Mitchell pulled out her phone and took several photos of Bella from different angles. I could be completely wrong, but would you mind if I ran a DNA test on her? My treat. I'm curious about something. A DNA test? For a horse? Yes. We can determine breed heritage, lineage, genetic markers. It's become quite common in the equine world, especially for registered breeds. The test I'm thinking of is specifically for Arabian horses. Arabian? Maya looked at Bella with new eyes. She'd seen pictures of Arabian horses, those impossibly beautiful animals with arched necks and flowing manes, the horses of desert sheikhs and fairy tales. This awkward, floppy-eared mare couldn't possibly be.
I'm probably wrong, Dr. Mitchell said quickly. But something about her conformation, even in this condition, reminds me of Arabian bloodlines. The test is only about $40. Would you mind?
Maya did the math in her head. That was almost 6 hours of dishwashing, but her curiosity was piqued. Okay, let's do it. Dr. Mitchell took a simple swab from inside Bella's cheek and sealed it in a special container. Results take about 2 to 3 weeks. I'll call you as soon as I get them. Maya forgot about the DNA test over the next few weeks. She was too busy with the daily grind of horse care, school, and work. A farrier came out and spent 2 hours trimming and balancing Bella's hooves. The difference was immediate and dramatic. Suddenly, the mare could walk normally. The awkward, stumbling gait disappeared, replaced by smooth, ground-covering strides. It turned out she hadn't been clumsy at all. She'd just been in pain from hooves that hadn't been properly maintained. With correct hoof care and improved nutrition, Bella continued to transform. The patchy coat became glossy and healthy. She gained weight and muscle. The awkward angles smoothed out as her body finally got the nutrition it needed to develop properly. Even the floppy ear seemed less noticeable as everything else improved. Maya started riding her, just simple walk-trot work in the small arena her father had helped her set up. To Maya's surprise, once Bella's hooves were fixed, she moved beautifully. There was an elegance to her stride that Maya had never seen in the few other horses she'd ridden at summer camps. Bella was responsive and intelligent, learning quickly and seeming eager to please. 2 months after the auction, Maya's phone rang while she was at school. She didn't recognize the number but answered anyway. Is this Maya Rodriguez? Dr. Mitchell's voice sounded strange, excited and slightly breathless. Yes? Maya, I need you to come to my office. Today, if possible, after school. Can you do that? Is something wrong with Bella? No, nothing's wrong. But the DNA results came back, and... Maya, you need to see this. Can you bring one of your parents? The tone in Dr. Mitchell's voice made Maya's heart race. She skipped her last class and called her mother, who was between shifts at the hospital. They met at Dr. Mitchell's office at 3 o'clock. Dr. Mitchell ushered them into her consultation room and opened a folder on her desk. Her hands were actually shaking slightly. "I've been a veterinarian for 30 years, she began, "and I've never, ever seen anything like this." She pulled out a printed report and turned it toward them. Maya looked at the page, seeing a complex chart with names and lines and percentages that meant nothing to her. "This is Bella's DNA analysis," Dr. Mitchell continued. "Maya, your $5 horse is a purebred Arabian, but not just any Arabian. Her bloodlines." She paused, seeming to struggle for words. "Her sire, her father, is Kemosabe, one of the most celebrated Arabian stallions in American history. He was a national champion multiple times over, a legend in the Arabian horse world." Maya's mother leaned forward. "What does that mean?" "It means this horse, who someone gave away at a school auction, who's been through 4 homes and was considered worthless." Dr. Mitchell pulled out her phone and showed them a website. "Look at this. Kemosabe's offspring regularly sell for $15,000 to $50,000. Some have gone for over $100,000. And Maya's horse, Bella, her maternal line is just as impressive. Her dam sire was national champion multiple times in halter, which means conformation showing, basically beauty contests for horses. This mare has some of the most sought-after bloodlines in the Arabian industry." The room felt like it was spinning. Maya heard her mother say something in Spanish, a prayer, or an exclamation of disbelief. "But how?" Maya finally managed. "How did a horse like this end up at a school auction for $5? Dr. Mitchell pulled up more information on her computer. "I did some digging. I contacted the Arabian Horse Association with her DNA profile. They found her registration. Her registered name is Belladonna's Desert Rose. She was bred at a prestigious farm in Kentucky about 4 years ago. The farm sold her as a yearling to someone in California for $35,000. $35,000? Maya's mother looked faint. But here's where things went wrong. The buyer in California apparently didn't realize what they had. Or they did, but couldn't handle her. Young Arabians can be spirited, energetic. They require experienced handling. This buyer tried to train her too hard, too fast. When the horse didn't perform the way they wanted, probably because she was being pushed beyond what she was ready for, they sold her for a loss. She went to another owner who used her as a casual trail horse, but didn't maintain her properly. Then she got injured somehow and was sold again, even cheaper. By the time she ended up in your area, she'd passed through 4 owners in less than 3 years, each one knowing less about her background than the previous one. The registration papers got lost somewhere along the way. Everyone just saw an awkward, underestimated horse and assumed she wasn't worth anything. They completely misjudged her. Dr. Mitchell pulled up photos on her computer. This is what proper Arabian horses from these bloodlines look like when they're well cared for. She showed them images of stunning horses with arched necks, flowing manes, and refined features that seemed almost ethereal in their beauty. "And this," Dr. Mitchell said, pulling up one more photo, "is Kemosabe himself, Bella's father." Maya stared at the image of a magnificent bay stallion, powerful and elegant simultaneously. And then she looked closer at the white markings on his face and legs. They matched Bella's pattern almost exactly. The resemblance was undeniable. "So what does this mean?" Maya asked quietly. "Is someone going to want her back? Will I have to give her up?" "Legally, she's yours. You bought her fair and square. But Maya..." Dr. Mitchell turned serious. "With these bloodlines, with proper training and showing, Bella could be worth well over $100,000. Maybe significantly more if she proves herself in the show ring. And her breeding value, if she produces foals, each foal could sell for $20,000 to $50,000. Easy. You're looking at a potential value of $150,000 or more for this horse." The number seemed impossible. Unreal. Maya had bought lunch with $5 2 days ago, and here was someone telling her she owned an asset worth more than her parents' house. I don't want to sell her, Maya heard herself say. Her mother put a hand on her shoulder. Mija, that's a lot of money. That's your college education. I don't want to sell her, Maya repeated more firmly. She's not a thing. She's Bella. She trusted me when no one else wanted her. I'm not going to abandon her just because I found out she's valuable. Dr. Mitchell smiled. I was hoping you'd say that. But Maya, you need to understand what you have here. This horse has the potential to be truly great. She has champion bloodlines on both sides. With proper training, proper showing, she could win at national levels. She could become a champion herself, but that requires investment, professional training, show fees, travel. It's expensive. Maya felt overwhelmed. I'm 16. I wash dishes. I can't afford... Which is why, Dr. Mitchell interrupted gently, I'd like to make you a proposal. I have a friend who runs a training facility about an hour from here. She specializes in Arabians, and specifically in bringing along horses with difficult backgrounds. Her name is Patricia Chambers, and she's one of the best in the business. I already called her and told her about Bella. She wants to meet you both. 2 days later, Maya and Bella made the trip to Chambers' training facility. The place was impressive. A sprawling complex with multiple barns, indoor and outdoor arenas, and paddocks where beautiful horses grazed in the afternoon sun. Patricia Chambers was a tall woman in her 60s with silver hair pulled back in a braid, and the kind of presence that made even the most spirited horses settle down around her. She watched as Maya led Bella out of the trailer. Well, Patricia said after a long moment of silence, I'll be damned. Sarah was right. That's Kemosabe in every line of that face. She approached slowly, letting Bella sniff her hand, running experienced eyes over every inch of the mare. She's still underweight, but she's coming along. Hooves are much better. Sarah mentioned you got them fixed. Her movement. Patricia gestured for Maya to lead Bella in a circle. Oh my, that trot. Did you see that, Sarah? That's a 10-point trot. Look at that suspension, that reach. That's genetic. You can't train that kind of movement into a horse. They're either born with it or they're not. Maya had no idea what most of those words meant, but she could hear the excitement in Patricia's voice. Maya, Patricia said, turning to her, I want to train this horse. I want to show her. I think she could be special, truly special. National champion special, but I know you can't afford my normal fees. So here's what I propose. You keep ownership of Bella. She stays registered in your name. I provide training, boarding, care, and showing costs for free. In exchange, I get a percentage of any prize money she wins and first right to breed her when the time comes, with we split the breeding fees. You can visit whenever you want. You'll be involved in every decision about her care and showing. She's still your horse, but I help her become what she's meant to be. It was an incredibly generous offer, almost too good to be true. Maya looked at Bella, who stood calmly beside her, that intelligent eye watching everything with quiet interest.
I need to talk to my parents, Maya said.
The discussion at home that night was long and sometimes heated. Maya's father worried about hidden catches. Her mother worried about Maya being taken advantage of. But Dr. Mitchell vouched for Patricia's reputation, and after researching the trainer online and finding nothing but glowing reviews and impressive results, they agreed to a trial period. The transformation of Bella over the next 18 months was nothing short of miraculous. With professional training, proper nutrition, and consistent work, she blossomed into the horse her genetics had promised she could be. The awkward, underestimated mare became a swan, or rather, a stunning Arabian horse who turned heads wherever she went. Patricia worked with Bella patiently, understanding that the mare had been through trauma and needed time to trust again. Slowly, Bella's confidence grew. She learned to move with the natural elegance that had been buried under neglect. Her coat gleamed like polished copper. Even the floppy ear became endearing rather than unfortunate, giving her a unique look that people started to recognize. Maya visited every weekend, driving up with her mother or sometimes catching a ride with Dr. Mitchell. She watched Bella train, helped with grooming, and gradually learned about the world of Arabian horse showing. Patricia taught her about bloodlines, conformation, movement, and presentation. Maya discovered a passion she'd never known existed. Bella's first show was at a regional Arabian horse competition when she was 5.5 years old. Maya was so nervous she felt sick. She'd helped Patricia prepare Bella, braiding her mane and polishing her hooves until they gleamed. When Bella entered the ring for the halter class, where horses are judged on their conformation and movement while being led, Maya held her breath. Bella seemed to know this was important. She arched her neck, flared her nostrils, and moved with a floating grace that made her look like she was dancing rather than walking. When she trotted, her movement was so fluid and powerful that a murmur went through the crowd.
She won the class. First place in her division.
Maya cried. Standing at the rail with her parents who'd driven up to watch, she cried tears of joy and vindication and overwhelming emotion. The underestimated horse that no one had believed in, that everyone had dismissed, had just won her first championship. That was just the beginning. Over the next year, Bella won class after class, show after show. She earned her regional championship. Then she qualified for the U.S. National Arabian Horse Show, the most prestigious event in the Arabian horse world. Horses from across the country and around the world competed at nationals. The best of the best. Maya was 17 now, a senior in high school. The same classmates who'd mocked her $5 purchase now followed her Instagram account, where she posted about Bella's successes. Sophie had become Maya's unofficial photographer, attending shows and capturing stunning images of Bella in action. The national show was held in October, almost exactly 2 years after Maya had placed that $5 bid. Patricia had qualified Bella in multiple classes, but the main event was the Amateur Mares Halter Championship, the class Patricia believed Bella had the best chance in. The night before the class, Maya couldn't sleep. She stayed at the showgrounds with Bella, sitting in the stall, stroking the mare's neck. "Remember when we met?" she whispered. "When everyone thought you were worthless? Look at us now, girl. Look how far we've come."
Bella nuzzled her shoulder, as if to say, "I always knew what we could be. I was just waiting for someone else to see it too."
The Halter Championship class had 32 entries, the best Arabian mares in the country. The competition was fierce. As Maya and Patricia prepared Bella, Patricia was calm but focused. "Just remember," she told Maya, "win or lose, we've already proven everyone wrong. She's already a champion. This is just the next step." But Maya could see Patricia was nervous too. This was the culmination of 2 years of work, of believing in a horse everyone else had dismissed. The class felt like it lasted forever. The judge, a renowned expert flown in from Europe, took his time examining every horse. When he came to Bella, he spent a long time looking at her from every angle. He asked Patricia to trot her out, then walk her back. He checked her teeth, ran his hands down her legs, studied her face and neck and overall proportion. Maya couldn't read his expression. Finally, after all the horses had been examined, the judge conferred with the show officials. The ring went silent. Even the ambient noise of the showgrounds seemed to fade away. Then the announcer's voice boomed over the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, your U.S. national champion amateur mare is number 47, Belladonna's Desert Rose, owned by Maya Rodriguez, exhibited by Patricia Chambers." The explosion of applause was deafening. Patricia let out a whoop of joy. Maya's parents, watching from the stands, grabbed each other. And Maya felt like she was floating as she led Bella to the center of the ring to receive the championship trophy. As she stood there, Bella beside her wearing the champion's blanket, photographers snapping pictures. Maya thought about that day in the high school gymnasium. The laughter, the mockery, the 5 crumpled dollars that everyone said she'd wasted. And she thought about what couldn't be measured in money. The bond she'd formed with this incredible animal, the passion she'd discovered, the lessons she'd learned about seeing value where others saw nothing. Later, a reporter from a major equine magazine interviewed Maya. "So," the reporter asked, "you bought this national champion for $5 at a school auction. What made you bid on her when everyone else had passed?" Maya looked at Bella, who stood calmly beside her, champion though she was. Still the same horse who'd looked at her that day with those intelligent eyes. "Everyone underestimated her," Maya said simply. "I saw her true potential." The story went viral. Local news picked it up, then national news. Underdog story. Teen's $5 horse worth over $150,000. Hidden champion. Underestimated horse becomes national winner. The story spread across social media, with people around the world sharing it, commenting on it, crying over it. Maya received dozens of offers to buy Bella. One breeder offered $200,000 cash. Another offered $250,000. Maya turned them all down without hesitation. "She's not for sale," became her standard response. "She never will be." Because Maya understood something that many people didn't. Bella's value had never been about money. It had been about trust, partnership, and the courage to see potential where others saw only problems. It had been about a 16-year-old girl who believed in something when no one else would. And it had been about a horse who'd been waiting for someone to finally see her for who she really was. Bella went on to win multiple national championships over the next 2 years. Her offspring, when she was eventually bred, sold for extraordinary amounts, with all breeding rights carefully managed by Patricia and Maya together. The money from those breedings went into a trust fund that paid for Maya's college education and helped establish a rescue program for neglected Arabian horses. But on quiet evenings, when the shows and the attention and the success faded into the background, Maya still went out to Bella's stall, sat on an overturned bucket, and just spent time with her horse. Because that's what mattered most, not the championships or the money or the recognition, just a girl and her horse. The underestimated $5 horse who'd been a champion all along, waiting for someone to look close enough to see it. And every time Maya looked into Bella's eyes, those same intelligent eyes that had pleaded with her that day at the auction, she knew she'd made the best $5 investment of her life. An investment that couldn't be measured in thousands or millions, but in trust, love, and the unbreakable bond between a girl who saw beauty where others saw nothing, and a horse who finally found someone worthy of her trust. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and sharing it with someone who needs a reminder that true value isn't always visible on the surface. Have you ever seen potential in something or someone that others overlooked? Share your story in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible true stories of second chances, hidden treasures, and the remarkable bonds between humans and animals. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the best things in life come from the most unexpected places.